Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let us take a look into how to use the insert statement to insert the data in a tables in a SQL. Well, the insert statement is used to add a new rows to the table. You can insert the data into all the columns or a specific columns. There are various ways to insert a data, including inserting a single row, multiple rows, and inserting data from another table. Well, go to the MySQL workbench over here, and here go to the query editor, and here we have written a lot of SQL statements in previous couple of lectures. So let us go ahead and take a backup of these SQL statements. So here let us copy all these SQL statements and go to the notepad++ or a notepad and just paste it, and just save this file as SQL_backup, and let us give the file extension structure query language. So here let me search for it, structure query language, and let us save into the desktop. You can save to any file location that you want. Next, go back to the MySQL workbench over here, and here just remove all these SQL statements except the create table statement. Okay, so before using insert statement, let us go ahead and drop the existing table. So in order to drop the existing table from the database, just type the command drop table followed by the table name, that is employees. Let us select this SQL statement and execute it. This will drop the table from the database. In order to verify that, refresh the schemas, and here you can see table section is empty. Next, let us create employees table by using this create table statement. So employees table has a column ID, first name, last name, email. Next, let us select this create table statement and just execute it. And in order to verify whether the table is created or not, just refresh the schemas, and under table section you can see employees table is created. Well, let us first see how to insert a single row in an employees table. So here is the SQL statement. Just type insert into and then specify the table name, that is employees, and then followed by parenthesis. Within the parenthesis, let us specify the column names. Well, if you can look at the create table statement here, we have to specify the column names in the same order: ID, first name, last name, email. Okay, so here ID comma first name comma last underscore name and then email. Next, values and then parenthesis, and within a parenthesis let us specify the values. Well, for ID let us give value 1, and then for first name let us give name Ramesh. Well, make sure to specify the string within a double quote, and then within a double quote let us give the last name Partare, and then email ramesh@gmail.com. You can use whatever the value that you want. So this is the insert statement to insert a single row into employees table. The statement is very simple: insert into and then followed by table and then followed by within a parenthesis the column names and then followed by values, and within a parenthesis the values for respective columns. Finally, put the semicolon at the end of the SQL statement. Next, let us select this SQL statement and just execute it. Next, in order to verify whether this single row is inserted into employees table, we can use select statement. So here just type select star from followed by the table name employees. Well, we use select statement to query the data from the table. Well, we will learn more about select statement in upcoming lectures. So just remember, we use select statement to select the data from a respective table. So just select this statement and execute it. And here you can see the output: the Ramesh employee successfully added to the employees table. So this is how we use insert statement to add a single row to the table. Next, you may have a question like, can we insert the data into a table without specifying the column names? The answer is yes. If you want to insert the data into all columns of a table, you can omit the column names and provide the values for all the columns in the same order as they are defined in the table. Well, you can see the create table statement over here. ID, first name, last name, email, right? If you want to omit the column names from the insert statement, then you have to provide the values for all the columns in the same order. Okay, ID, first name, last name, email. You need to follow the same order like this. Okay, let us see with an example. So here just type the command insert into and then followed by the table name employees. Next, don't specify the column names, directly call the values over here and then pass the values in a parenthesis. So let us say value 2 and then first name, let us say Ram. Make sure to pass the string in a double quote and then comma within a double quote, last name Jadhav and then email ram@gmail.com and then put the semicolon. Okay, and if you can observe the SQL statement, insert into employees values, and these are the values for all the columns in the same order: ID, first name, last name, and email. Okay, and notice here we haven't specified any column names after this table. Okay, now let us execute this SQL statement. And in order to verify whether the row is added to the table or not, let's execute this SQL statement, that is select statement. Just select it and execute it. And notice here the RAM employee successfully added to the employees table. So this is how we can insert the data into a table without specifying the column names into insert statement. Next, let us see how to insert multiple rows in a table. Well, so far we have seen how to insert a single row into a table using insert statement. Now we will see how to insert multiple rows. Well, you can insert multiple rows in a single insert statement by separating the values with commas. For example, here let me write the SQL statement: insert into and then followed by the table name in which we are going to insert the data, that is employees, and then followed by we can specify the column names. Well, we are going to specify the values for all the columns, so we can omit the column names from over here, and then values. Well, if you want to insert multiple rows into a table, then you have to separate the values with the commas. So here within the parenthesis just pass the values for ID 3. So you can use double quote or single quote to insert the string over here. Like you can use single quote or double quote. To keep it consistent, let us use double quote. So here let us give first name, let us say Sita, and last name Patel, and then email sita@gmail.com. Next, put the comma and then within a parenthesis just pass the ID 4, and then within a double quote just give first name as Arjun, last name Singh, and then email arjun@gmail.com. Alright, next put the comma and then within a parenthesis just pass ID 5 and then give first name Priya and then Sharma as a last name and then email priya@gmail.com, and finally put the semicolon. Alright, so this is how we can insert multiple rows in a single insert statement, separating the values with commas. Okay, next let us select this SQL statement and just execute it. And next, in order to verify the rows are inserted into employees table, just execute this select SQL statement, and there we go, you can see the output. Okay, Sita, Arjun, Priya. So these employees are successfully inserted into employees table. So far we have seen we have inserted a data into all the columns. Now you may have a question like, Can we insert a data into specific columns? The answer is yes. If you want to insert the data only into specific columns and leave the other columns to their default values, you can specify only those columns in the insert statement. So here let us write the insert statement to insert the data into specific columns. So here just type insert into employees table, and then followed by, let us specify the column names over here. Let us say we want to insert a data into ID column and then post underscore name column as well as email, and for last name we want to keep the default value. Okay, next let us specify the values over here by using values clause, and then here just pass the ID 6, and then first name let us say Anil, comma, and then email anil@gmail.com, and finally put the semicolon. Okay, so if you can notice here, we have specified the column names ID, first name, email. We haven't specified the column name, last name. Okay, and make sure that whenever you want to insert the value into specific columns, then you have to also note the constraint as well. So you can see ID has a constant primary key, so you have to add this ID as a column because ID expect the value, and first name has a constant not null, so you have to specify the column name first name in the insert clause because you cannot insert null value into first name. And this last name does not have any constant, so you can omit this last name from the insert statement. Next, email has a constant unique. Okay, just scroll down and go to the insert statement and just select it and execute this insert statement. And in order to verify whether the row is added to the table or not, just execute this select SQL statement as well, and just maximize this. And here you can see Anil employee is added to the employees table, and you can see the last name column value null. Okay, we have specified the columns ID, first name, email. That's why you can see the values within these columns. We haven't specified last name column, that's why you can see the default value null. Okay, so this is how you can insert the data into specific columns. Next, let us see how to insert a data from another table. Well, you can insert a data into a table from another table using select statement. For example, here we have an employees table. It has a 6 rows. Next, let us create a one more table. So just let me copy this employees create table statement and let me paste it over here, and let me give the different table name. Let us say employees underscore backup. Okay. Next, let us execute this create table statement to create this employees underscore backup table. And in order to verify that, what you can do is you can just refresh the schemas over here, and you can see employees underscore backup table is successfully created. Next, what we will do, we will insert a data from this employees table into employees underscore backup table. Okay, so in order to do that, let us use the insert statement along with select statement. So here let me go at the bottom, and here just type the SQL command insert into followed by the table name that we want to insert, that is employees underscore backup, and then let's specify the column names ID underscore post underscore name, and then last underscore name, and then email. Now we have an insert into statement. Next, let us get the data from employees table by using select statement. So here don't give the semicolon. After this just follow select statement. So select ID first underscore name, comma last underscore name, comma email from employees table. Alright, so here basically we are inserting a data into employees underscore backup table from this employees table. Okay, So this select statement basically retrieve all the data from this employees table, and this insert into statement insert all this data into employees underscore backup table. Okay. Next, in order to execute this, just select this SQL statement and just click on this execute button. Next, in order to verify this, let us use the select SQL statement. So here just type select star from employees underscore backup and just execute this SQL statement, and there we go. You can see the output. All the 6 rows are inserted into employees underscore backup table. So this is how you can insert a data into a table from another table using select statement along with insert statement. Okay, so in real-time project we typically do this kind of things to take a backup of the data. Okay, so just remember this syntax. In order to take the backup of the data from one table into another table, we typically use this kind of SQL statements. Alright, well, let me recap what we have done in this lecture. We have seen how to insert a single row into a table and how we can omit the column names from the insert statement. And we have seen how to insert a multiple rows in a single insert statement. And we have seen how to insert a data with a specific columns. And we have seen how to insert a data into table from another table using insert into along with select statement. Okay, great. I will see you in the next lecture.